this new deck from Pokemon Go might be the best budget deck ever. Roll the intro. What's going on, everybody? Hitmonchanning here, back again with another Pokemon trading card game online deck tech, and today I want to cover the Solrock Lunatone deck that has been going around. This budget deck is insanely powerful and doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. I think it's actually really good, and hey, you know, as they say, it's good to ball on a budget. So let's just get right into it. Lunatone. What does this Pokemon do? Moon Kinesis. For 3 colorless energy, it's 30 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. If you have 3 energy attached, you're going to be doing a solid 120 damage. 4 energy attached is 150, plus a belt is 180, which is enough to 2-shot most things. And you're going for the early 2-shot, late 1-shot kind of play here, and I'll show you how we power up this Lunatone really quickly. Thanks to Solrock with its Sun Energy ability. Once during your turn, you may attach a psychic energy from your discard pile to one of your Lunatone. Now, if you have four Solrock in play, you can attach 4 psychic energy, but you can also utilize Scoop Up Nets to reset the Solrock, as well as Radiant Greninja to put this energy in the discard pile and help us draw cards as well. We play 4 Battle VIP Pass to help us get set up, 2 Hisuian Heavy Ball to ensure that we have all our Solrocks and Lunatones and Greninja that we need, coupled with some Rescue Carriers to loop our Solrocks and Lunatones in case they get knocked out. Manaphy protects our bench, and we also play 3 Choice Belt and 3 PokéStop, which is a new stadium card from the Pokemon Go set. Once during each player's turn, that player may reveal or may discard the 3 cards from the top of their deck. If they discard any item cards in this way, they put those item cards into their hand. This is great to find your Choice Belts, your Pokemon searches, carding, like your Pokemon search cards, whatever. The only thing that this discards is energy and supporters, such as Boss's Orders. We play 2 of them. We play 4 Professor's Research, a Cynthia's Ambition, and we also play a single Bruno. Now, thankfully, we do play a Pal Pad, so if you discard supporters with the PokéStop, you can get them back with the Pal Pad, and you can't actually discard Pal Pad with PokéStop, so you can discard a Pal Pad and put it into your hand, and it'll loop your supporters back in. So that's the really cool thing about this little combo here. But other than that, the deck is really straightforward. It's a lot of fun to play, and once you get the hang of it, it's actually really strong. So before we get into the video, I want to say thank you all so much for the support. Like the video if you enjoyed it, comment down below your thoughts on this video, and subscribe to the channel. I got a lot more deck techs coming out soon, and this is going to be the official first time I'm doing 2 uploads in a week. This upload is going to be going up on Thursday, so that is really exciting. I'm hopefully trying to move to 2 deck techs a week, so if you're excited for that, please drop a subscribe. And now, without any further ado, let's get into some games. My opponent is calling the coin flip here. Let's see what it's going to be, heads or tails. With this deck, I'm really hoping we can go second, because I think going second is actually very strong in this deck, because you can pretty much get an easy donk. And I'll show you that right now once my opponent decides to go first or second. Then again, going first isn't so bad, but thankfully we're going to be going second. And we have an okay hand. We really need something off of our Heavy Ball and our Trekking Shoes. So if we can somehow find a Greninja, that'll make this hand a lot better. But we'll see what my opponent goes ahead and does here. It's going to be interesting to see. We are playing against a Ice Rider Calyrex deck, which is actually pretty good for us, because we're going to be able to hopefully 2-hit KO this Ice Rider and get so far ahead of them in the prize trade that they're not going to be able to catch up. And that's really the goal of this deck. The goal of this deck is to beat your opponent in the prize trade so that you outpace them, being a single prize deck that's hitting so hard every single turn. And now this deck is sort of like a turbo deck, because you're running the Trekking Shoes. You're trying to dig through your deck, discard as many energy as possible to get to your end goal of powering up your Lunatone and smacking your opponent for a lot of damage. My opponent has a good setup here, using a Level Ball and a Quick Ball. And doesn't, oh, they do have the attachment, so that's probably going to be it. So we'll see what we get here. Another Trekking Shoes is really good, so we're going to Heavy Ball first and foremost. We have nothing in the prizes. There's Choice Belt, there's Quick Ball, Research, another Quick Ball. The 2 Quick Balls might be a bit of a challenge, but we can go ahead and Trekking Shoes right here. We do not want that Psychic Energy. I mean, we'll get another. We can Trekking Shoes again, get a PokéStop. That is something that we want, and we can go ahead and PokéStop, hopefully hitting a Battle VIP Pass, which we do. Unfortunately, discarding 2 Lunatones, which isn't good, but we can go ahead and get a Lunatone and a Radiant Greninja onto the field, and this is where the deck is going to start to ramp up. We can concealed cards away on energy to draw some more cards here. We can Scoop Up Net this Greninja, and first we'll Sun Energy to our Lunatone, and then we can concealed cards again to discard another energy and draw 2 more cards, giving us another Battle VIP Pass, which can get us 2 more Solrocks, and now we can put a Choice Belt on this Lunatone. We can Sun Energy again to our Lunatone here, and now we can actually Sun Energy one more time and hit this Calyrex very hard, which I think is what we're going to do. Just going to go for another Sun Energy. We're going to Scoop Up Net our Solrock here, bring up the Lunatone, and then we're just going to go for a crazy Moonkinesis on our first turn of the game, hitting 180 damage. Now keep in mind, if we were able to find like another way to discard an energy, like if we found another Scoop Up Net so we could Scoop Up Greninja and discard and then Scoop up the Solrock, we could have actually done a knockout. We actually could have knocked out this Ice Rider Calyrex, which would have been insane. But my opponent's got a pretty decent setup here. Normally, Ice Rider decks don't play any healing, so I'm not very concerned. And we do have the boss in hand to just hunt down this Ice Rider on the following turn if they decide to switch it. But they got 1 card in hand, so they're really going to have to try and either go for the Melanie to evolve an attack, or they're going to have to try and find some way to switch. They're going to grab another level ball to probably chain to another Drizzle, which, in my opinion, isn't really the best way to play Inteleon engine decks. I know some people used to play them like that, like you get a Drizzle, okay, get all your other Drizzles out. Oh, but they're actually getting another Sobble, so now that makes me curious to see what they have in their hand. It's probably a Research or something like that, if they're going to grab another Sobble. Yeah, it is a Research, so they're just going to get to draw a clean 7 cards here. We're going to see what they get. They also can use PokéStop. They do discard one of their bosses, which is very good for us. And it looks like a Shady Dealings Inteleon is in the discard. Now, I know from my Ice Rider deck, I don't play Pokemon Recovery. I don't think a lot of Ice Riders do, because what is really the point? So, them discarding their Shady Dealings Inteleon is actually huge for this matchup, because they can't attack with a... what's it called? They won't be able to attack with a single Prizer. So that's really good, unless they play 2, but the chances of that aren't very high. So I'm actually really loving this, because we have Boss in hand, and we have another energy, which puts us at... Oh, they're just going to go for the Pierce. Okay, so that puts us at 5, 6, 7. 7 times 30, right? And I think this is actually just enough to straight up KO that benched Ice Rider, which leaves this one in a very vulnerable position. So we're just going to go ahead and do that play, drawing 2 prize cards after our big Moonkinesis for the knockout, doing a solid 210 damage, which is perfect math. And we're going to take 2 prizes, being a Quick Ball and a Rescue Carrier. That Rescue Carrier is really good, because when our Lunatone gets knocked out, it very well most likely will now. We can Rescue Carrier our Lunatones back and just go crazy and start powering them up again with Solrock, considering we have 2 in the discard. My opponent does have the Ice Rider VMAX here, and if we can find a way to... We're going to be able to 2-shot this, definitely. That Path to the Peak does kind of screw us up a little bit with the Greninja, but I'm not super worried here. So do get the quick shooting, so they can start chipping away at our bench, but there's not really going to be any sniping going on, so we don't need to drop that Manaphy. We do have the Quick Ball access as well. Now, something that this deck does kind of get stuck on is Path to the Peak, because Greninja is your draw, and without your draw, there's not much you can do. Now, if our Radiant Greninja gets knocked out, in about 7 turns it will, like, you know, give or take, if they quick shooting somewhere else, Greninja will get knocked out. So we kind of need to find a PokéStop really, really fast. And this hand isn't really going to be a great hand for doing that, but that's okay. We get our opponent takes the knockout here, and we can just go right into Solrock. Seeing what we draw into, it's another Rescue Carrier, which is okay, but certainly not great. We can get 2 Lunatone back, and we have 3 Sun energies here, so I'd actually like to spread out the energy a little bit. because now they can't really target a single Lunatone, and it actually gives us more versatility in case we get bossed. So I'm going to hold that Choice Belt. I'm going to Sun Energy again. How many more energies do we have? We have 2 more energy. Sun Energy to this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and pass my turn here. Now, our Solrock is probably going to get knocked out, which is okay. We just really need to find a draw supporter because we're kind of stuck, but we haven't actually discarded any draw supporters yet. We have 2 Trekking Shoes still and Scoop Up Net, so we have a lot going for us still in our deck. We know for sure we have a research in the prizes, but we still have 3 other research. We still have a Bruno, we still have a Cynthia, so we have a pretty decent shot at hitting a draw supporter or a Trekking Shoes at some point during this hand. So my opponent going to get another Melanie, powering up their other Ice Rider, forcing us into a 2-3-3 prize trade, it seems, because they're probably going to try and get... Oh, no, they're actually going to get another energy onto the active Ice Rider. Interesting, because they're never going to need to max Lance in this game. They can just keep Ride of the High King and keep knocking our Pokemon out for free. But this next turn, we're going to be able to slap a lot of damage onto the Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX here, which is, hey, going to be very good. They're going to do another manual attach, which I find funny, but they might be doing that so they can manually retreat into something like the Quick Shooting Inteleon and just kind of stall out a turn. They're doing 160 damage. That's fine with me because I kind of want to just go into this Lunatone. We have the Rescue Carrier in our hand right now. And the Scoop Up Net is okay as well. We only have 2 energy in the discard, so we don't even need to Rescue Carrier right now, but we can just do 2 Sun Energies right here. Don't even have another... Yeah, we don't even have anything else. I'm going to just drop that Choice Belt. And I'm going to wait because we can actually scoop this Greninja up to reset the damage. And then we're just going to go for a Moon Kinesis here, doing a pretty large 180 damage, which, hey, next turn, we might be able to get up there in the damage. We only need 140 damage, which basically means we need 150, what's it called? 150, like, total, so we can, like, in terms of the math, that's what I'm trying to say. So then we can do, what is that? We can do 3 energy and a belt. My opponent is going to get a boss and Evil Incense, so they do have the second Shady Dealings Inteleon here, but no way to power it up, and they keep manually attaching to Ice Rider. Now, they shouldn't have too many energy left. They should only have 1 or 2 left in the deck, which means that this might not even be able to attack for them, which is huge. Oh, they are going to manually attach, so they have 7 energy have been played so far, and they have Melanie still to get them back. But still, all their energy on the board, they're probably going to retreat, and we've kind of almost checkmated them here, because there isn't much they can do. They have to either attack with this Ice Rider and risk the KO, or retreat to the other Ice Rider, which has the same HP, and risk the KO. Or they can retreat into an Inteleon, which doesn't accomplish anything, but they're going to boss up our Greninja and knock that out, which, you know what, that's okay, because now we can just take a big KO with Lunatone here. My opponent's going to take 1 prize, but we're actually going to take 3, so I don't know if that was the best play for my opponent. We don't have any energy to discard, so we're just going to send up Lunatone once again, and we do get a Bruno, thankfully, so that's going to be very good. We're going to just use this Rescue Carrier. We'll grab Lunatone and Solrock. We're going to bench the Solrock, but not the Lunatone here. And we're just going to Bruno this hand into the deck, drawing 7 cards here. And we can start, you know, powering up our board a little bit more. We can get rid of this Manaphy, because that's never really relevant in this matchup. And we can grab another Solrock for next turn. It's really important to think ahead with this deck, because we have Boss, right? So we can discard this and manually attach whatever. It might be better to just discard and do the Solar Energy here, because we can thin the deck a little bit more as well. And we're just going to Sun Energy. It's just to the bench that we do, right? Because this is already knocking out. We're already doing, what's it called, 180. So we just do it to the bench. And then we just Moon Kinesis here and knock out my opponent's Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, 360 damage total. And we've actually checkmated our opponent here. There is nothing they can do. We draw good prizes. We got Choice Belt, we got another research, and we got an energy. It's actually all we really want. And there's really nothing my opponent can do here. They are checkmated because we have the boss in our hand. If we get like Marnied or something, we can still do a lot of damage with Lunatone, and we still have 3 prizes to go to since we play since we play no support Pokemon that are 2 prizes, like no Crobat, no Lumineon, no Eldegoss, no nothing like that. All of our support Pokemon are just single prizers, so we can just kind of have our opponent burn through their deck. They already have 13 cards left, whereas we have 22. So they're going through the deck, and they're actually not getting a whole lot done. So, in my opinion, a little bit of a misplay with my opponent not powering up the Shady Lings and Teleon to attack. But my opponent's just going to spread some more damage with Quick Shooting. I mean, it shouldn't really matter at this point. They have to take this knockout with Ride of the High King, and that kind of seals the deal here. We can just go for a big KO on this Calyrex, which we're absolutely going to do. Bring up our Lunatone. You know, give a well played to my opponent. They do have a good deck as well. We're just going to Belt, Energy, Sun Energy, Sun Energy. I think I appreciate my opponent willing to let us take this big KO. We're going to Sun Energy, and you're going to see how powerful Lunatone can really be. Moon Kinesis doing, guess how much? 270 damage. That is like V-Star territory right there. Another turn of powering up this Lunatone allows it to one-shot anything, and it just secured us the victory and the advancement into the next round. So what do you think of this Solrock and Lunatone budget deck? I think that this deck it's so powerful. Like, it's so strong. I think a lot of people know it, and this is a very competitive deck. Like, you could bring this to a tournament and win. It's very, very possible. The biggest threat this deck faces is Flying Pikachu VMAX, which locks you out from attacking with a basic Pokemon. Which, you know, all your Pokemon in this deck are basic Pokemon. Something you could add in here, see, it depends if you want to. You could add a Mightyena and Poochyena, a 1/1 line, and like a Rod or something to get, or like a Clara even, to get the Mightyena back into your hand after it gets KO'd, and you can take out your opponent's Flying Pikachu that way. But you do have the Escape Rope. You do have the 2 boss. You could also bump this up to 3. I think it would definitely help the deck. If you bumped it up to 3, you could get rid of, what's it called, a Quick Ball. You know, the deck is, I would like to say, near perfect. I think this might be Mahone's exact list. I don't even remember. I might have changed like 1 or 2 things. Like, it's so powerful and so streamlined that I don't really think it needs to be changed. It's pretty much perfected on its own. I really don't have any edits for it. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what do you think of this Solrock and Lunatone budget deck? And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more deck techs more often, because I love making these videos, and I love making content, and I love playing the Pokemon trading card game. So without further ado, I'll catch you guys next time. Hitmonchanting out.